Hi, we're in London. I'm Colin McClelland, Editor-in-Chief of the Northern Miner, and I'm with Anthony Moreau, CEO of American Eagle Gold. Anthony, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks for having me, Colin.
It's great. I want to talk about the NAC project. Maybe you can take us through some of the highlights recently. You've had a 30,000 meter drilling program this year. How's it looking?
Looking great. We've put out about a quarter of our holes so far, so we have around, say, 33 to 35 holes still to be assayed and released. We're coming out with news tomorrow, and then probably more news in the next 2 weeks. I'm sure this will be recorded. And that'll be old news, but we hit some amazing grade in our historical hits from our news release the last month and a half. We hit, almost 100 meters of 1.75% copper equivalent at depth, which shows you we don't just have stuff at surface. We have what could potentially be a high-grade underground mine. And the more we drill, the more we're understanding this project and vectoring into high-grade areas, but also increasing the scale, which we're accomplishing both.
It's great. Tell me a bit about the geology there at NAC in British Columbia.
Well, geology is different wherever you go in BC. Where ours is, we have a porphyry. It's a unique porphyry. There's areas of extremely high grade. There's areas of middling grade. The whole point is look at it from 30,000 feet. If you blend it all together, can you put that into a pit economically? And we believe we're on the steps to showing the public that we can. So it's just about more and more drilling.
And you've got some big partners behind you, South 32 Tech Resources. Tell me about how they came aboard and how they're helping things out.
Well, they came aboard differently. So Tech came in, we were early evaluation. It was a good investment for them. They came on the equity side. We don't like to give away the asset. And they invested 3 times in 2023. And then after another year and a half of drilling, South 32 saw what they're doing. And them, like Tech, said, we think that this can be a mine. We want to get in early. And if you get in early, for example, South 32, you own 20% of that company. So when it eventually gets taken out, there's 20% less at a high premium you have to buy. But more importantly, they get access to our data room. So they're actually involved with the planning of the holes, helping us out. Because part of the reason we're drilling, we want to give the market good holes that will get our stock up. But more importantly, what does South 32 want to de-risk us enough for them to buy us? So they have holes that they have planned, and we work together, to keep the market happy. It also keeps South 32 happy to see what the majors want. So we have Tech and South 32 both involved in the background, helping with planning. They're wonderful partners.
And you have some good infrastructure there, right?
It's as good as it gets. And when there's a mine next door called Bell and Granile, mine for 30 years. Just to give you an idea, during the winter, they went from their houses to the property right next to ours in a ski-doo. So in the summer, you can bike right there, flat terrain, amazing. You can drive right up to it. And people always look for high grade. We have high grade on our property, but you realize the closer you get to the moon, for example, if you look at some of those projects in South America, the higher the grade you need to pay off that high cost of infrastructure. And the better the infrastructure you have, the less you actually have to pay to build the mine. So that's a big important thing for us. And we have 2 of those ingredients right there. Good infrastructure, which will mean low CapEx, and areas of high grade.
Fantastic. And so what are your next milestones report-wise? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, we're probably going to have 10 more releases of assays. So in the next couple weeks, we'll have 2 more batches of releases. It's difficult because we don't want to put out one hole at a time. Our rigs are going at different areas, and we want to tell a story. So we want to put together 4 or 5 holes at a time to explain everything, and that takes time. So we had a bit of a delay. Obviously, the labs are slow. But now that we're competing against less assays at the labs, so there's less of a queue, we'll have more and more regular news. So as the year goes on, moving into PDAC, we'll have probably 10 releases showing our results. And we're still drilling. We're drilling for another 3 more weeks.
And then next year, are there plans for any kind of a PEA, feasibility? How are you lining up for those?
Not yet. So I think the first step would be MRE.
Yeah.
I think MREs at this stage, they show you how small you are. People kind of use that as a bit of a glass ceiling. We still don't know the bounds of the system. It's getting bigger and bigger as we drill more. The big thing about the South 32 raise, it gave us capital to actually follow a plan to actually show that this thing can be a mine. So we have a 3-year plan right now. I think for next year, we'd probably do some metallurgy to show that this ore can be processed very economically. It's easy ore to process. I think that's one thing we do, but we probably save off the MRE till following next year's drilling.
Okay then. And do you want to give like a 30-second wrap up? What's your elevator pitch for investors on the project?
Well, we have all the ingredients for amazing Thanksgiving dinner. It was U.S. Thanksgiving the other day. We have infrastructure. We can drill without needing the public's money for the next 2 more seasons. We have amazing partners behind us in Teck and South 32. And listen, Rick Rule speaking. There's other big, letter writers speaking. In reality, they're just big retail investors. They'll buy you, they'll sell you. Teck and South 32, that money they gave us, they own about 35% of the company combined. They're not going to sell us. And they bought us for the right reasons because they want to buy us, all of us, for good down the road. So for me, take the cues from the companies that have made discoveries and they're going to buy you down the road. And we have 2 of them. It's very unique.
Anthony Moreau, CEO of American Eagle Gold. Thanks very much for chatting today. In London, I'm Colin McClelland for the Northern Miner. Thanks very much.